So you wouldn't see him physically abuse them, but they may come out the room and you could tell something had happened.
Diddy is facing some very serious charges made by his ex-girlfriend Cassie. He's been hit with 3 big lawsuits in the past month alone. Seen to have dug up a list of past events from the rapper, potentially exposing his true and dark nature. On November 16, Cassie Ventura, Diddy's ex-girlfriend, also known as Cassie, dropped a federal court bomb, filing a lawsuit against Puff Daddy. She accused him of forcing himself onto her, which later dug up a horrifying decade of abuse that kicked off when she was just 19 years old. Cassie alleges battery, assault, and gender-driven violence, along with other legal claims. According to the report, Diddy's domination over Cassie started when they first met 18 years ago, back in 2005. Once she signed with Diddy's record label Bad Boy in 2006, he allegedly took charge of everything in her life: her home, her car, her clothes, even her medical info, all to keep her on a leash. Apparently, Diddy even went so far and tried to put a target on Kid Cudi, who was Cassie's former boo, back in 2011. We'll dissect that later. However, only one day after Cassie filed her lawsuit, she and Diddy settled out of court, and the details are not yet shared. That's not all though. As previously said, Diddy is still stuck in a legal storm. Only a week after the settlement between the rapper and Cassie, he now faces new accusations of assault by another woman, reported by the BBC. In the lawsuit filed on Thursday, on the 23rd, Joy Dickerson-Neal accuses the artist of drugging and assaulting her during a date in 1991. Apparently, Diddy was also recording the incident. A spokesperson for Diddy went on to the BBC on Thursday and claimed that the allegations are fabricated and not credible, dismissing them as a simple means to make some extra dough. Now you'd think that'd be the last of it, but the third time's a charm. In this case, a courtroom charm. As of November 25th, Diddy got hit with another lawsuit. Yes, another one. The reason wouldn't surprise you. An anonymous individual claimed that Diddy and a songwriter, Aaron Hall, took turns abusing her and her friends somewhere between 1990 and 1991. This time, no spokesperson has yet stood up to try and clear Diddy's name. And as of now, Diddy still hasn't tried to shine some light on the topic. Diddy's former bodyguard, Jeannie Dill, has also come out and discussed Cassie's claims against the rapper in her lawsuit. In a recent interview, Jean draws parallels with Kim Porter's experience with Cassie's. I didn't know Cassie, but I knew someone going through the same things she was going through, and it was Kim Porter. Diddy's history of abusing women stretches far back to his former ex, Kim Porter. Jean reveals how Diddy used to bring Cassie to different states against her will, letting male adult workers use her and exploit her for his satisfaction. Jean also reveals that Diddy once broke Kim's nose.
Then you heard about the fact that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht?
Wow, I ain't hear about that.
He broke Kim, let's say allegedly, but it was told by people in her camp that he broke Kim's nose on a yacht.
The ex-bodyguard further defends Cassie against people's comments as to why she didn't speak out sooner. Diddy mentored Cassie as she had dreams to join the music industry, pursue songwriting and singing. However, he wielded this mentorship as a form of control. Although she had the option to end the relationship because of all the abuse, Diddy would manipulate by insinuating that he could ruin her career, ensuring that no one in the industry would be willing to collaborate with her. This situation put her in a spot where she had to decide between letting go of her dreams and hopes or sticking it out in a toxic and abusive relationship. Apparently, Diddy also forced the radio executives in New York City to transfer Wendy Williams, the famous radio host, to another state, simply because he had beef with her. We breezed through Cassie's lawsuit on Diddy before, but now it's time to dig even deeper into Cassie's lawsuit. Go below the surface and dissect the drama. So the lawsuit alleges several instances of abuse committed by Diddy, including forcible violation, battery, and forced intimate acts with male adult content workers. Diddy gets depicted as a textbook abuser. Cassie got lured into what she thought would be a fatherly protective relationship, but she found herself in an unequal violent ownership. According to the reports, she was kept on a leash by intimidation tactics. You see, trying to put a target on Kid Cudi wasn't the only act that Diddy did. He was out there performing atrocities as if he was the Godfather. According to the report, Diddy blew up a man's car, dangled an individual over a 17-feet balcony, and asked Cassie to hold his weapon in her purse. Yes, you heard that right. Cassie admits that she didn't go to the police because it would merely give Mr. Combs another excuse to hurt her. The lawsuit reads, Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. Diddy started to make his moves towards Cassie back in 2006 when she sent his own makeup artist to Cassie, like a pigeon in medieval times, simply to state he's interested. As soon as the two started their romance, Diddy and his inner circle wasted no time to control every single aspect of the young girl's life. According to the lawsuit, everyone close to the Bad Boy record turned a blind eye to the abuse. Beatings were witnessed by Mr. Combs' staff and employees, but no one dared to speak up against their frightening and ferocious boss. Cassie, being the young girl with hopes and dreams that she was unable to go to the police, since it would give her abuser more reasons to hurt her. The atrocities committed by Diddy seemed to never stop. Apparently, in one instance, in 2009, he abused her using his feet repeatedly, resulting in her face bleeding so bad that his team had to hide Cassie in a hotel, away from the public eye. Furthermore, whenever Cassie tried to ghost, Diddy's massive web of connections and crews kept hounding her to come back, manipulating about how her dreams and hopes would just disappear otherwise. According to the lawsuit, Cassie suffered memory loss from frequent substance use and unalive thoughts during her relationship with Diddy. So far, Diddy has been depicted as a monster, committing multiple atrocities and acting as a pimp. Wait till you hear about the next part. Cuck Daddy? Sorry. Puff Daddy forced Cassie to take part in so-called freak-offs. He invited multiple male adult content workers to engage in acts with Cassie, all the while he was recording and going solo. Guess you could say he was the cameraman. All jokes aside, this terror went on for years. In the filing, it is stated that the encounters occurred in multiple different high-end hotels across the entire country. It could occur as frequently as once a week, and Diddy had photos and recordings of it every time. Cassie tried deleting the content on her own phone, at least, but to no avail, since Diddy always seemed to have backups. As stated in the lawsuit, she was once forced to watch footage during her flight with Diddy. In 2006, he allegedly paid a hotel $50,000 to erase footage from a hallway surveillance. In the footage, Diddy could be seen throwing glass cases at Cassie when she is trying to run away after he gave her a black eye. To be able to disassociate herself during all the abuse and horrific encounters, Cassie would turn to substances for help. Unfortunately, the excessive amount of usage led to addiction. Remember how we mentioned Kid Cudi? Yeah, let's wind back to him. As we said, Cassie and her former boo Kid Cudi had a short, lasting thing going back between 2001. You see, Diddy didn't like that the slightest. So in retaliation, he blew up Cudi's car. The last atrocity that Diddy managed to perform on Cassie occurred in 2018, when he broke into her home and took advantage of her, even after Cassie repeatedly said no and tried pushing him away. Following that incident, she left him for good and ended her association with Bad Boy in 2019. Given the 3 lawsuits this month alone, things aren't looking great for Diddy. As of now, there isn't much info on the latest 2, but let's dive into the past accusations for more similarities. During a recent interview with Tasha K, Gina Hunt, also known as Virginia V, opened up and recounted the terrifying experiences she went through during her time together with Diddy, alleging that he once stomped on her stomach and repeatedly punched the back of her head.
He stomped on my stomach really hard, and I took the wind out of my breath. I couldn't breathe, and he kept hitting me, and I was pleading to him, can you stop? I can't breathe. And he stopped for a little bit. He grabbed my hair from the back.
Gina reveals the first time that Diddy put her hands on her, recalling back to Meek Mill's mansion party back in May last year. During the party, Gina reached out to her hand to congratulate Meek Mill, which Diddy caught a glance of. This led to him flying into a rage of jealousy. Well, on the way home, he grabbed hold of Gina's hair and cussed her out. Once they got to the hotel, Diddy got a hold of one of Gina's heels and threw it straight at her face, mushing her face and making it bleed. Apparently, nobody in his circle attempted to put a stop to the terror. Gina claimed that they allowed the abuse to occur. They wouldn't try to interfere, just walk away and leave us alone, and not really step in to stop. Something that even Cassie admitted regarding her own case. He was mentally, emotionally, and physically abusing me. He would always compare me to Cassie and tell me that I'm the bad one. she's a good one. Rewinding it back further, in 2017, Diddy's former personal chef, Cindy Ruella, also filed a lawsuit against him, citing charges of harassment, failure to pay overtime, and retaliation. Ruella claimed that Diddy frequently requested her to serve meals to him and his friends immediately following intimate activity. The lawsuit stated that the men would appear without clothes during these post-coital meals, with Diddy even once asking if she likes his body. The lawsuit was resolved in 2019 through a settlement, the terms of which were not disclosed.